what I want to talk about today is about what to do with your waste, because let's face it, you are going to generate waste. No matter even if you are eating the carrot tops and the little, everything that you think, the duck and goose food, you will have waste. And what do you do with it? I remember living with a guy once.
I'm a bit appalled, I have to interrupt. That is the rest of my time.
I knew it secretly. Let me have a taste, let me have a taste. It
It's
might be
very
too good for the worms. I suppose you'd have a little bit. Just a little bit.
Have a little bit.
No, it is delicious. That's delicious.
I know, thank you.
I know.
It's the twice baking. Yeah.
I remember living with this person. I couldn't believe that they could have a banana and then literally open the rubbish bin, throw the banana out. I could not imagine what goes on in your head that you would think to throw out a food scrap and not feed it to something, because I figure it's not waste if something eats it. Whether it's a chook or a worm or a teenage child, it's not waste. So my father, I come from a long line of composters. My father actually doesn't want to be buried or cremated. He wants to be composted. So I know, like the Fulton family is very strong down the line of cooking, I'm very strong down the line of waste reduction and growing great vegetables. So he wants a big plot of raspberries on top of him. Which is not a bad way of going. But so I want to show you what you can do with the waste that you generate. Now you can. I want to do a worm farm. Now you can buy a worm farm, and I know the Parramatta City Council run worm farm workshops, and you can buy a pre-made worm farm. But these babies, talking about waste, what comes in these?
Broccoli.
Broccoli, any brassica, sometimes fish, all these things, they are literally breaking these down out the back of those big supermarkets, and the irony being that they don't break down any more than that. These things will stick around for a very long time. And the smell.
I know,
the smell.
It's pretty full on.
Yeah, smell. So I'm going to use these. You can just go and get some styrofoam boxes from Coles or Woolies or your local greengrocer. They should cost you nothing, but sometimes they might charge you for them.
So they'll last, as long as you don't kick them or whatever, they'll last
They will last a long time. They're really lightweight, they're insulated.
And portable, if you've
portable,
got to move.
And paintable as a great little school holiday project. They're ugly. I'm not saying that they're a very beautiful garden delight. I don't think Jamie Jury will be putting these out as a design feature in his next garden.
Not with that profit margin, no.
But painted, fabulous little motif.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to use these for a worm farm. I'm also going to use them to do a bit of gardening in after I've built the worm farm. Now, worms are a most incredible pet. You do not have to take them for walks. They eat almost everything you don't.
And you don't have to worm them.
You don't have to worm them. It's absolutely brilliant. They are cheap to run, very cheap to run. But first of all, you've got to get your worms. And the most important thing about worms is they turn all your scraps. I did get given some scraps earlier on. I'll turn all your scraps from this, just smelly kitchen scraps, into, wait for it, here. This, it's literally, I should do this because this is the trouble, but I don't mind. Literally incredible garden fertiliser. I don't know where the camera is, but, it's behind you, Bernie.
Oh, I'll get out of the way.
I'm going to go up. Oh no, it's terrible.
It looks
anyway,
like beautiful, rich soil.
Rich soil, does not smell. It's the most sensational fertiliser.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely no sense.
It is just the best. From this, through the digestive system of the worm, to this. And that just gets scattered through your garden, and it grows things like you would not believe. It's the if you're spending money on garden fertiliser, you're a mug.
You're a mug.
Get yourself a worm farm and get this stuff because it's black gold for your garden. So you don't have to do a single thing. You get some worms. Now worms, you might have worms in your garden. They're an earthworm, generally in your garden. What I'm talking about is a compost worm. Oh, come here, you little critter. I haven't fed these for a couple of days, so they're likely to eat. Stand back. Now, I've just bought some worms up. These are compost worms. They're red wrigglers or blue Indian blues or tiger worms. big teeth, the tiger worms. And they're tiny. You know they're a compost worm because they're tiny little things. They will eat half their body weight a day. When you think half their body weight a day, it means like a tiny bit of lettuce. But 15,000 of them in a worm farm, they will go through your scraps just in an instant. So once a week, and then they'll turn it into that great compost. You get those from a garden centre, or a very unsociable question, but a good one to ask is, of your friends is, have they got worms? Just
Common enough.
over a cup of tea. If they have, ask them if you can have some, and then work out a way of getting them.
Well, it's true, because every now and then with your worm farm, you have to cull,
Absolutely.
you have to shift them on.
You shift them on, and they will then go on to produce more and more. It's a license to print money, worm farming. Now, so you get your worms, either from a worm farm, a friend, or from a garden centre, or the hardware shops have boxes of worms. You get your styrofoam boxes. You'll need one, which is the catching tray for all the worm wee and all the juice that they come through. The worm wee is a fabulous liquid fertilizer. So you want to leave the box all like that. Then you get your next box, styrofoam. This is the ultimate mobile foam. I mean, the jokes.
Mobile foam.
Mobile foam.
Get it.
Now, with this, I want to put some holes in the bottom of this one because the worm wee drains through. There's nothing a worm likes less than drowning in its own urine.
Funny things.
They're crazy animals, I don't know why. So you want to let the worm juice drain, and to do that, just poke. I'm just going to poke.
What was I saying about the hairdryer? This is as high-tech as it gets on Lish's site.
I'm like a DIY guru. Oh, I can imagine.
Good for anger issues as well, I think. Yeah.
Now, this is what blokes are doing in sheds. So, girls, I just say get out and give it a go. That's what I'm all about. Now, I'm just popping lots of holes in.
It's
Very
okay,
therapeutic.
Let it out. Feel the worm pain.
Ah, right. Luckily, that styrofoam doesn't stick to anything.
Oh.
Now, that should be enough.
I can see an audience through there.
I should probably put a few more, but that'll probably do enough. Now, worms don't like to be too wet, so they don't like to be in a pool. They don't like to be too dry, and they don't like to be too hot.
You sound like teenagers.
This is a perfect...
Just so much work.
So this is a perfect thing for them. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in a tiny bit of something called core. Core is just a coconut fibre, and I've soaked it in some water, and it basically just adds a bedding layer for your worms.
Where do you get that from?
Again, there will be in the supermarket, hardware shop at $3. It comes in a brick and
Core.
Yeah. Totally. It's well named. And just pop that in. You can see it actually has come in a brick. I've put it in water and it's soaked up all that water. And now I'm just going to pop it in the bottom of my worm farm. Get involved with this.
Who's got a worm farm at home?
Ah, perfect.
Oh, that's good. That'd be a third, I reckon.
And
of the people with hands down, who reckon that they could manage to do something like this? Oh, look at the conversion rate you've got going,
You will
Lish.
love it. You will not regret it. Now I'm going to put all this in the bottom here. It's getting a bit messy, but that's all right. Now, and the thing is, with worms, 1 million women they are encouraging 1 million women to reduce their carbon emissions by 1 tonne a year. If you have a worm farm and feed it your scraps, you will actually reduce your carbon emissions by 1 tonne a year because...
Really?
Amazingly, because your scraps, when they go into the rubbish bin and into landfill, they produce a gas called methane. Now, methane is a... What am I trying to say?
Greenhouse gas.
Greenhouse gas that's 21 times more potent to a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide.
Nat did say 25% more before, but she's not so good on the maths.
I think it's 21.
It's 21 times more strong than carbon dioxide, so it's really full on.
It's full on. So if you're not sending your scraps to landfill and giving it to your worms, you're actually making a lot more of a difference on saving the that tonne of carbon emissions. Easy.
That's about a third as much as the average Australian produces driving a car each year. So that's how much you're saving by worm farming. Put your hands up again if you're already worm farming.
You've done it.
Hooray!
You've done it.
That's a lot of thirds of cars off the road right
now.
now.
I'm just going to tip in. So I've got my core in the bottom there. And I'm just actually going to tip my worms on top of this. Now, I've got this from my worm farm. Again, you could probably buy a box, but look at them. You probably can't see them, but they are a wriggling mass of delight, and they're hungry little critters.
Actually, they look kind of sleepy. Maybe it was that long bus trip up from Canberra.
Yeah, they are a little bit. Look at that, though.
It's beautiful.
Give the gift of worms.
It's like pasta puttanesca, but afterwards.
So I'm just going to put those in there, and then I'm going to feed them. Now, Julie's bought...
I know, I feel bad throwing... They look too good to...
That does look almost... We might have that for lunch.
Yeah. There's your real scraps.
Now, it's important to feed worms what they like to eat, and I said you can feed them anything, but they don't like citrus or acidic stuff. So don't give them oranges and lemons and pineapple skins. And they don't like meat. I think if you're in a home worm farm, don't feed them meat, because it goes a bit smelly. They don't
and you get rats.
And you get rats.
If you have
dairy, no. Onion skins, no. Bad breath, they get that. So just feed them green, I would say green scap. Also interesting to note that there's no teeth on a worm. So if I'm going to feed it like a potato, it will take them a little while to get through it. They will get through it, amazingly.
Do they just suck it?
Yeah. They sort of got this spoon-like mouth that sort of comes out and scrapes the food. They will get through a potato. Amazing. But it's better if it's smaller. So if you can cut them all up. I don't want to mollycoddle my worms, but if you can blend the food for them, it makes a difference. And heat it up a little bit.
A nice...
a bit of music in the background. So no, they will get through that in seconds. See? They will just pounce on that. Lettuce, they love anything like that, but try and get it. The smaller it is, the easier they'll get through it, and the quicker you'll be at this delicious
beautiful
mulch phase.
So we've got core, we've got worms, we've got food.
And now don't overfeed them. You think I've got 1,000 worms as the general starter worm kit. Think I've got 1,000 worms, half their body weight a day in food. I'll just shove a big pile of stuff in. No, it'll all turn festy and mouldy and smelly, and you get all those vinegar flies, and you go, this green thing is rubbish. I'm just going to chuck it in the bin. Go out and get some myself.
So the vinegar fly thing is us feeding it too
much
fast for the worms.
Yeah, they will not get through it, and you will hate it. So just feed them a little bit to get started. Then when they're through that and they've started to multiply, bit more. Don't go too hard on them. So that's it. Escapee?
Yeah.
No. It's close.
They're adventurous.
Okay, so now that's all we do. Now I'm just going to put the lid on. What I do as well is they like to be cool, as I said. I'm just going to you can buy special blankets for your worm farm. Mollycoddle. I'm just going to use an old T-shirt. I'm going to wet that though, and I don't know if I've got a bit of water in here. Because again, they don't like to be dry. They don't like to be too wet, so I'm just going to wet that in.
Is that the one you poked holes in the bottom of?
Yep.
Are we going to get our bond back? Oh.
See?
Nice work.
All right. And then, now you'll notice that all the wormweed will go down into this bottom box. So as they are turning your food scraps into delicious fertiliser, they'll also wee, and that'll drain down into this bottom box. Eventually it'll get too full. So what we've got to do is create a little drainage spot. On the worm farms you buy at commercial worm farms, they have a little tap in the side. I'm not convinced that that's the best way to do things. What I would do is just cut a little hole. How am I going, Bernie?
Well, you're doing great, but you're doing what I was doing for almost the entire show, which is blocking the camera.
It's a bit tricky. Here. Is that all right?
That's better. That's perfect.
Okay. So I'm just going to cut a little... I am the Swiss Army wife with my...
Should it be that low?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because you want it coming out straight away.
Yeah.
Look,
the thing with the wormweed is you have to use it pretty soon. I wouldn't let it fester in there for a couple of weeks because it's got pathogens in it, and generally you want to use it as a garden fertiliser pretty fresh. So what I would do is as it comes through, let it drain and drain straight into a bucket from there, and then use it on your garden plants.
So you're not going to put a little tap in there, you're just using a hole.
I'm not. I think tap lets it fester inside.
Ah.
Yeah.
Gravity
just put a bucket underneath and when it comes up to there, it'll just drain out, and then you can use it straight in your garden. The concentrated worm wee is quite a potent fertiliser, so you might want to dilute it 1 in 10 and use it straight on your plants, just like you would sea salt or fish emulsion. It's that good. It's that good.
It's that good.
So you save yourself all that money. Now, so that's my little worm farm. I'm going to put a lid on it.
Let's hear it for Lish Fejer and the incredible worm farm.
And the incredible worm farm. Look at that. Yes.
I had no idea it was that easy.
It's that easy. Now, when your worms are full here and you've got a whole pile of castings, then you've got to go to GIY and watch the video on how to harvest them.
The website address for GIY, Lish, is?
Green it yourself. Oh, look at that's my bottom again. greenityourself.com.au, and I've just got videos on how to do all this stuff, just really step by step, the same jokes, but generally pretty good.